Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Extraordinary Expletive. You got your boy J Dubs on the mic over here,
And Kenny G's on the other side of the table.
and today we are doing a special request yet again, but it also ties into a previous episode, so I think it was pretty well placed. Shout out to Corey Hawk because we are going to be doing a episode on Screamo, which leads in very well with the emo episode we just did.
Yeah. Screamo is kind of like it was too hardcore for the emo kids and too emo for the hardcore kids.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to say is like for those of you who are big, I don't know the word I want to say, like music jerks, we're going to be talking about a couple bands that would definitely be considered post-hardcore, but are also considered emo. But we just want to throw it out there that Screamo itself is, it's a broad term that a lot of people use for metal music for people who don't understand metal per se.
No.
Oh, this goddamn screamo music, and it's an actual genre in itself. Screamo, happened a little bit of precursor in like the early 2000s. You can even say like 2000, 2001, and then kind of bled into like 2008 and beyond. It definitely stemmed from emo music, and then like you said, the hardcore people, they were like, dude, what if we did this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of cool bands that, some of them we had mentioned actually on the previous episode, on our emo episode, that you can consider to also be Screamo, and one of them being Senses Fail. A lot of their lyrics, they have that screamer in their music that, you didn't hear in a regular emo song, like like an acoustic song about killing yourself. Like you didn't you didn't have like the guy in the background like use the razor blade. It was it was a little bit different, and in my personal opinion, it is a precursor and what stemmed into like the metalcore scene that we see nowadays, kind of combined with a lot of bands that were out there at the time, like, Kill Switch Engage. And, I mean, obviously, like, bands like Meshuggah and stuff, they definitely have that core influence, but this kind of combined into it. You can see bands like Asking Alexandria. If you want to call those guys Screamo, I mean, you kind of could.
Yeah, it would be someone like Asking Alexandria, or even people would think that like what we just talked about it, Bring Me the Horizon. People say that's not really a screamo band; they're like more metalcore, but you can see the influences.
Yeah. So, like, going back, I would say, a good start would be around the time, like, Census Fail was around.
It would be in that post-hardcore era, because you're talking about post-hardcore's coming out, early 2000s, and at the same time the emo's coming out, and it was kind of just a fusion of those two styles. And then it just depends on who you talk to as to if a band's screamo or if they're post-hardcore. Because I was somebody who always said, like, Alexis on Fire is a post-hardcore band. But then other people say they're screamo. And, I mean, I can see that because you look at a song off of... you look at the album Watch Out, which was their... Was it their first full-length album, or was it their... It was their first full-length album.
I think it was their first full.
Because the one before that, the Dagger in the Heart of West Angeles or whatever.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Was
Was
that
it
was
same?
just
Yeah.
I don't remember, but that one was just an EP. I'm pretty sure. But so their first full length album, Watch Out, you have songs like "Hey Mama, It's Your Funeral," which just features a lot like those, screaming and like the vocals. But then you have songs like "Happiness" by the Kilowatt, which is like slower, and then you hear them just singing in it.
And there's barely any screaming whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like George himself, like, probably has 2 lines in that song.
Yeah.
Then you got other songs like, Sidewalk When She Walks, and it was the same way. It was just this dramatic build-up
I love that album,
of Dallas. Yeah, dude, that's my favorite one. I got my wife and Alexis on Fire. It's funny that you started with them because that's who I wanted to mention as well. Big influence. My first song I ever heard by them was 44 Caliber Love Letter, and that was off of that EP album. And you could tell, like, if you listen to them
That's
nowadays.
John's favorite song, by the way.
Really?
He only likes that album by them. He hates everything else they ever did.
Why?
Because
So good.
He's a hateful person.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Great Lakes only has one good beer.
With them too, it's actually funny because the way I found out about them is like I heard people talking about them in school and stuff, but I never actually listened to them. So I go over John's house, back when I'm like 14 years old, and he has a fucking Misfits CD case just filled with CDs, and I just have my laptop there. I just start burning off every single one of them into my computer. So I have like a whole bunch of. That's like how I got into like a lot of punk rock and stuff because he had like the Rock Against Bush compilation album.
Nice.
He had the what was the one Andrew WK does for suicide prevention?
Let's Party Hard?
No, he has.
I don't know.
Oh God, I forget what it's called. It'll come to me later. But he had that one. But then he had "Watch Out" by Alexis on Fire. So my musical tastes are different, back then. But so I'd hear some of that stuff. I'm like, I don't like this. But then like "Happiness" by the Kilowatt was like the song that got me into them because it's not like a lot of their songs on that album.
No, not at all. It's so slow.
So that got me into them, and because I was like a little emo kid. I just didn't know I was an emo kid.
Yeah.
But I like that song a lot, and then just I heard "Hey Mom, it's Your Funeral," and then like that song is what really got me into them.
That one's way faster too.
Yeah, it's more of a and then they have that weird part at the end.
Which one?
Hey
which
Mom,
weird
it's Your
part?
Funeral.
Yeah, which
yeah,
weird
but
part?
like how the song ends, and then they have like the little kind of ambient like drum and guitar part.
Oh, okay, yeah, and it just goes off into the distance.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were one of the first bands that really got me into that scene as well. Like I said, 44 Caliber Leveler, it was the first time I heard it. And like if you listen to the band nowadays, like I was just saying, you can
They broke up for a while.
tell the difference. Like and going back to that album, like Dallas was not very good at singing, you know what I mean? But he was still their main lead guy. And
Yeah.
then once Watch Out came, like he got way better. And then, like, Control is probably one of my favorite songs by them.
I think
It's
that's why I
awesome.
think they're so post-hardcore, though, is because that first EP is just so rough.
Yeah, it was
like,
so raw.
Like a hardcore post-hardcore album would be. But then it's more refined when they come out with Watch Out. And,
Yep.
But by then I've already established, I'm like, oh, this is a post-hardcore band.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go away. But yeah, if you look at them, like, lyrically and stuff, like, they do have, like, that emotional...
Yeah, and then the beginning of them too. Like if you go back watching some of their music videos, Pulmonary Archery, so a big song that got me into them as well. And the music video is that stereotypical like emo scene music video. They all had the fucking hairdos and they're all just swinging their guitars.
Yeah.
And then like they do this unison jump kind of.
I'm pretty sure
like,
that's the same music video for You Could Be Anywhere Else in the World.
Yeah, which is a really good song.
Yeah.
It's nice to see how well that band progressed.
Because it would have the, sing a verse and then come in with the scream.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how they switched that a lot, you know what I mean? So mainly, with Screamo, if you guys are unfamiliar, like they do have, like, usually, like, a clean vocal singing, and then either that same guy who sings screams, or they actually just have a screamer in the band who can't sing but he can growl, and you didn't get a lot of solos and stuff. I mean, like Alexis on Fire, you get little tidbits here and there, and they were good though. But
Going back to what you said earlier though about people just saying any like metal is screamo, that I was
it's insulting.
Yeah, well, see, I was going on a date with a girl. This is, God, 7, 8 years ago. And I went to pick her up after work. We worked at the same place. So I go there to pick her up. We're going to go to Olive Garden because I've never been to Olive Garden. And I still have never been to Olive Garden. So I don't know what an Olive Garden is. But we were going to go to Olive Garden. And
Post Malone would show you some stuff, dude.
I don't know what that means. What the hell's a Post Malone? He looks like he smells. Anyway.
Post Malone takes Jimmy Fallon to an Olive Garden for the first time ever.
Really?
Yeah, there's a video about it. It's hilarious.
Okay.
He lies to the waiter and like tells him that it's his birthday, and then like they just bring out a cake for free, and Jimmy's like, "What the fuck do you pay for at this restaurant?" Because they got like endless breadsticks and all kinds of shit. I'm sorry, go on.
No, well, I go to pick her up in my 2000 Ford Escort, and I pull up, and all I'm playing, it's not even blasting. It's just I'm playing it. I was listening to like Metallica, I think, like some old Metallica, and she like comes over and she opens the door. She's like, "I'm not riding with you and listening to this screamo bullshit. You can ride in my car." And we had to take her car because she was afraid I was gonna play screamo, aka Kill 'Em All Metallica.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that's what like people who don't listen to metal at all just assume they just call everything screamo.
Yeah, they don't understand it. And I don't know. That's one reason, like main reason why I really got into the screamo scene. And I want everybody to hear this because this is my personal opinion. I'd like to hear yours, but the screaming in metal music is like a release of emotion and energy, like that is on a next level. You
Well,
know what I mean?
I hate whenever people don't think that's talent though.
Yeah.
They're like he's just yelling. I'm like, no, like you
No,
try
he's
and
not.
do that. You
Yes.
try and do that.
Do you know who Jared Dines is?
No.
Okay, he is you've definitely seen his videos on YouTube. He does funny things where like he'll do guitar riff battles. He does like 10 different types of drum cymbal setups. Like I'll show you stuff. But he does this YouTube video where he's at like a metal fest or something, and he goes around and he's got a microphone and he's talking to everybody. He's like, "Hey man, could you do me a favor?" He's like, "Just go ahead and give me your best metal high scream that you can do." And like the sounds that come out of these people are fucking hilarious. But he does, stumble upon the occasional vocalist. But normally you get somebody and they're like, and no, dude, I can't. No. And he's like, okay, so what you're saying is, it's not very easy, is it? And they're like, no, man, that's hard as hell. And
Yeah.
he goes, okay. See, everybody always tells me that screaming is easy as possible, And he walks up to this other guy. In the video, he's like this long hair blonde dude, and he's like, hey man, could you give me your best metal scream? And the guy's like, like just super deep, like. And he goes, wow. He goes, how long you been doing vocals, man? He's like, about 10 years now. And he goes, so what you're saying is this took a lot of practice and it didn't just come naturally? He's like, no way, dude. You should have seen me when I started. And like, I'm kind of at that level. I've been, screaming in my parents' fucking in my bedroom and shit. And I can hang. I can't do lows, but I can get them highs up there. But that's what started my interest in it. Is listening to bands like that. I was like, dude, that's fucking cool. How's he do that? And then your throat's sore as shit. And like, you're just sucking on cough drops because like your vocal cords aren't used to that at all, and you got to find that sweet spot.
I have a friend who can scream decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is his name Sean Busco?
Sean Busco can scream decent.
Yeah, that kid's got some good good pipes, man.
It's our friend all day who I hope to have featured on here. Back to the original topic, though.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
I'm
band
like,
or something?
I was about ready to talk about Gojira, and I'm like, no, they're not screamo. We
Not
can't,
at all. No.
No, we can't talk about them yet.
I have a big project for them. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's gonna be a month-long adventure.
One album every week.
Yeah.
Like this week from Mars to Sirius.
And next week, The Link.
And the week after that, we're gonna do what was next after that one? Was it less? No, it wasn't the French one. Was it The Way of All Flesh?
I think that one came out after.
Magma was the last one.
Yeah. With the silver cord on it and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting off
Yeah,
topic again.
stop.
Damn it, Gojira. All right, but yeah, go ahead.
By the way,
Yeah, you were
Gojira,
saying-
if you see our podcast, please come on.
Yes, please. We. How do you say please in French?
I don't know.
But
Omelette du fromage.
say it again with your accent. Omelette du fromage. So, you got these other bands came out.
Finch.
Yeah, and those guys would have to be like one of the early starters. You know what I mean? They were 2001, right? And
Yeah, something like that.
was it the song "What It Is to Burn" or was that the album name?
That was the album name.
I forget what song it is on there then. But he starts out and he just belts these vocals, and like he gets that raspy scream going, and then he comes in like a tiger. I don't even know how the song goes, but yeah, the beginning of it, he's like, and you're like, holy shit, that was dope, man. And I don't know, they were out earlier, so that might have been something that somebody else had caught on to. So going along emo, like My Chemical Romance.
They
is a
were
band,
emo.
Yeah, this is a band that I didn't mention on our emo episode, and I really wanted to, but now that I go back, I'm glad we're picking this up. But The Used,
Yes.
Burt McCracken, that guy. I mean, a total fucking emotional wreck of a person, but the shit that he put down on paper was amazing. And he had this crazy raspy scream, man, and I don't know, like even his image and just his personality kind of reminded me of Kurt Cobain. Like he just had that scraggly hair look, always wore
if I had
ripped
like
jeans and shit.
if I had like pick a band to be like the face of Screamo, I'd probably put the Used up there.
Yeah,
They would be the Used, um, Alexis on Fire, like we already said. Maybe Silverstein as well.
Silverstein was definitely Screamo. They yeah, I mean they were around that same era,
Yeah,
but yeah, they had
like
more
My Heroin
more.
came out in like 2001, 2002.
Yeah. And I think I listened to that album, probably like '05, '06.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it until then. And by then, like, you already got bands who are evolving and becoming something different than what they started out as, like Alexis on Fire. Once you hit around 2008, like, their albums were way different than that
What
Screamo
was the
feel.
Cardinal one called?
Young Cardinals.
I thought there was another part to it. That was like something Young Cardinals. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that album was just not the same. Like George didn't even scream in it. It was like, are they even a band anymore?
Well, they broke up after that.
Yeah,
one
they
for a
broke
while.
up because Dallas had left, and he started City in Color and
They got back together a few
came
years
back,
ago.
and yeah, they rewrote that album. But then they had that Dallas Green City in Color influence, and they redid a lot of their songs on piano and like acoustically. And it just like
Once somebody leaves the band, creates a new band, when he comes back,
that band is not his
they
new band.
they just they blend together.
Look at Blink-182.
Look at Corey Taylor, who'd go off like Stone Sour became Slipknot and Slipknot became Stone. So they just kind of switched
Yeah.
sounds.
So going off, just popping off another couple names. Another good one, which you weren't familiar with, trying to show you a little bit right before we got on, was Poison the Well, and they were more of that hardcore influence.
They were hype, but that music video was everything I pictured in like a Screamo music video.
Exactly.
Just a bunch of dudes with dark hair wearing, plain black t-shirts like their name's Colin and just fucking wailing on guitar.
Yeah. Hey man, my mom works at a liquor store. But that in my personal opinion was another part of what came about with scene kids. Mm-hmm. And scene kids and emo kids,
And see,
they will fight each other and say that they're
think
different.
I didn't get so much into Screamos because every time I picture Screamo in my head, I picture somebody's shitty MySpace with glitter graphics with it saying like "Rawr, I'm a dinosaur,"
Yeah,
or
FD.
something like that. And I'm like,
And everybody had, like, you mentioned it when I showed you the video. You're like, why did that haircut ever go away?
yeah,
The swoop on the side, the fucking crazy cut in the back, and it's all spiked up. Like, how many girls did you see wearing that same one? And they'll have, like, a little, like, bow tie on the side
Yeah,
of it or
something
something,
like that.
and some stupid skirt and these goddamn knee-high boots. And it was a scene, man. That's what it was. Everybody was fucking into it. And you're like, hey...
I feel like those girls now fucking smoke cigarettes when they're pregnant.
That's fucked up. Oh man, just listening to fucking Silverstein, like, come here, let me tell you a story. But Poison the Well, you're talking about going over John's house and finding albums. Like we touched base on this, but
That's my favorite game, by the way.
yeah,
To just drink beer and be like, all right, you take the controller and pick a new song.
there you go, dude. Just YouTube it out.
And that's how you find out about a lot of music.
That's how you find out about your friends too.
Yeah.
Like, wow, dude, I didn't know you were this.
Man, you paid
Like,
Liberace,
deep, bro.
Queen, and Elton John all in a row. What are you trying to say? Man, I really
Look.
like women.
I just want to tell you guys, I'm just really excited to be in this basement drinking beers with you right now, man. And like, I think it'd be a lot cooler if we all took our shirts off because, I got nothing to hide. But I had found Poison the Well on one of the Disc Junkies, like collab CDs they had. One of those like Victory Records or Epitaph Records, and it was just all these new bands coming out on there. And my stepdad's like, "Hey, check these guys out." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm going through listening, and Poison the Well was on there, and then I ended up getting one of their like single albums, and it had like 3 songs on it. And I was like, "Damn!" Like they didn't have like that good of a singer. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of like what you see nowadays what it's evolved into is you got a male singer who sounds like a female. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That crazy
Pierce
high
Lavelle's
pitch,
like a big one.
and but they're so heavy too. And like there's people who listen to that type of music and be like, "Wow, these guys are a bunch of bitches," and I'm like, play their music. Like, just imagine the guy not singing and just listen to the music. Like, they're heavy as shit, dude. They've got some really cool breakdowns, some really insane guitar work. For instance, what is it? A Bull in New York City, or I forget the name of it. Like, they start out with this crazy acoustic Spanish guitar, and then they just like bleed into this like distorted metal. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, Bull in the Bronx. That's the name of it. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, this is nuts. But try and hit that guy's vocal range. Like you said about the screaming, man. Like that's not easy to do. And I think that's kind of what drew the girls into the scene, and like the screaming and like the metal.
I think it was the tight ripped pants.
Yeah, I was gonna say seeing the girls into that scene drew the guys into that scene. They're like, "Wow, dude, your short's like shorter than your vagina. What's up? I'm Josh." And it was a bonding experience, much like that. The whole punk scene was like everybody came together, and whether you're sitting there just smoking cigarettes and nodding your head, like everybody was there having a good time.
It didn't last long.
No, it didn't.
Like you're talking you're talking 2004 huge, 2007 dead. It burned fast.
But it became something else.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, because you showed me that Poison the Well song, and I was like, this sounds like something that A Day to Remember would have taken their influence from.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, I just heard this Poison the Well album. Let's go write Homesick. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of bands that are out nowadays kind of got influence from that era. You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Pierce Lavelle was one that I just mentioned.
Yeah,
too.
Pierce Lavelle is. I mean, they still make music. You know what I mean? Or do they?
No, I'm pretty sure they're still around.
Yeah, because me and Jess were trying to actually go see them play live, and they were just on tour last year, but they were in Europe when we wanted to go see them.
We're basically Escape the Fate 2.0.
Yes. Now, Escape the Fate, that is a band that I got into super late. I wish I'd heard of them back when I was listening to all this music, because I probably would have dyed my hair a darker shade of black. Dude, they're fucking awesome.
Would you still been the cheerleader?
Yeah, would have. Yeah. With black hair, that instead of blonde. But yeah, my wife had showed me them actually. She was like, "Hey, check these guys out. Give me 1 second." Apologize.
Slight technical issue.
Sorry, we had this buzzing in the background. It turns out I forgot to turn something off. But
I'm surprised you got into them that late.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I figured
they never came up.
My God, I remember kids wearing Escape the Fate shirts in like school.
I'd always seen the name.
And I was like, is that like some gay Hot Topic brand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's a band.
Oh, sweet.
All right. And then I listened to them, I'm like, I don't really like this. And then somebody showed me like the earlier stuff. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
What the fuck did you do?
Yeah. Like, what is it? The Front Lines of War. That's not the name of the song. I think it's Through the Smoke and Flames. But like, it's like such a crazy fight song, and like the guitar is so fast, the drums are so fast. Like my wife said, they actually did like a cheerleading like part to it. You know what I mean? They did this whole choreographed dance, and like they had that song playing.
Oh, I thought you meant it was like there was like a cheerleading part in the song.
No.
Like Be Aggressive by Faith No More, where they actually have like the Be Aggressive chant in the song.
BEAGGRESIVE.
Yes. Or like the Shit is Bananas.
Yeah.
BANANAS.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I get it. Well, that song, like that it's a song you could turn on in your car and fucking drive like 110 to, like, you know what I mean? Like it's really good. Like the lyrics are different too. They're not your stereotypical emo kind of shit, but I don't know, theatrical almost. Like Run to the Hills from Iron Maiden, you know what I mean? Like that kind of shit. Like almost storytelling-ish. And he's just like basically saying, the chorus, he says, "And I will see you on the front lines of war." And like he's like, "I'll lead you through the smoke and the flames until we conquer them all." And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, he doesn't care if he's dying. Like, they're doing this. Like, it's time now. And I don't know, it's inspirational, something motivational, I guess you could say. What's another Screamo band that you like, Kenny?
I'm not really familiar with Screamo as much because a lot of what I was looking into was like stuff that I used to think was like post-hardcore, and that's why I say they kind of bled together.
Yeah, and that's why I said for the music snobs out there, we're gonna be talking about both. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh God, what did we mention? The Used, Faith No More, or not Faith No More? Jesus, Escape the Fate.
Um, let's see. You got bands who like Forever the Sickest Kids.
I don't.
They
Oh
weren't
yeah,
allowed,
God, I forgot about them.
they weren't around very long. Another good one was
Scary Kids, Scaring Kids.
Whoa.
Yeah, we just mentioned kids, and
Yeah, dude. Did we just have a thought together? They were sweet. You know, they had the hair, the painted nails, the fucking their music video. Oh man, I can't even think of the name of it now. My Darkest Hour. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's low budget video. It's just
a lot of them were back then. Too.
yeah. I mean, they didn't have a lot of money, so hey, dude, let's make it something popular or something sweet that we could throw on Fuse, and these kids are gonna fucking love it, which I did. But they all get in this van, and then like the guy gets in, drummer gets in the back seat, and he's got a pair of sticks, and he's like spinning them around, and then like the other guy gets in, he sits in the front, and then the singer is the driver, and he starts the car. And they start taking off, and then like the drummer starts playing in the air, and he's going to the beat of the song, and then everybody just starts fucking jamming out, going fucking crazy, and then the singer's just driving and like looking at the road and singing the lyrics while they happen. And like one of my favorite parts is like, there's two funny parts in it, but they like pull up to this red light, and there's like two cholos sitting in like a fucking convertible right next to him, and they're like going fucking nuts and going crazy, and he like looks over and he sees him, and he's like, and like everybody stops, and then like the music stops in the song, and they're just like, and then it turns green and the music comes back and they just start going fucking crazy again. And then halfway through the music video, they like stop at a convenience store and they like get out, and you can still hear the music playing from the van, and the guy runs in, grabs some drinks and shit, and then comes back out. And I was like, the fuck was that? Like, that was really cool, man. And so I got into that shit, you know. It was like I said, motivational, inspirational. I was like all about it, dude. It was next level. It was that kick I needed,
Yeah.
you know, from My Chemical Romance, because I'd been on them for forever, and I was like, whoa. I noticed that your voice did something that I don't hear very often. Because can you imagine if you had these vocalists who can do these screams now, like in metal bands like fucking Slayer and shit? Like if Slayer had some demonic lows like Phil Bozeman, or
Yeah.
not Phil Bozeman, excuse me, Phil from fucking Whitechapel, you know, like
He's a
no,
talent.
it is Bozeman, excuse me. I was thinking Insomma, like I was talking about Pantera.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, like I don't know, maybe the old heads would have.
Or you look at the vocals from Silverstein. He does both.
Yeah, yeah. And
He's screaming, and then he'll sing, and then he screams, and then he sings. And I'm like, why isn't your throat bleeding?
Yeah.
I've seen him live, and he even did some acoustic shit.
Really?
Yeah. I told you that story. With the marijuana.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He left. Yeah, the band went off stage. It lit up like a Cypress Hill concert. Like there was like a fucking fog picking up off of the audience. He comes out, he's like, all right, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's so much weed. And somebody's like, you love it. He's like, no, I don't. And he just starts like doing the acoustic set.
Another big hitter we ain't touched on yet. Under Oath.
Oh yeah, Under Oath too.
They were.
I never liked Under Oath.
Oh, Kenny, get the fuck out of my basement, dude.
I just couldn't get into them because I tried and they were. I just didn't. I haven't tried them lately. I will go back and revisit Under Oath.
You should.
Same with
if
the
you
Used.
listen, if you listen to their first album though, I guess you could definitely call that like a metalcore screamo. Like, I don't even know what you want to call it. They had these like 7-minute long songs.
So it's like
and they
modern Bring Me the Horizon, like more screamo.
I guess.
Nah,
I don't know. Ollie's kind of a bitch nowadays.
That's why I'm different subject for a different
you could
day.
say, you know, in comparison, it was kind
To
of
what
like
they
that.
were been, yeah.
Like Bring Me the Horizon's first album was fucking gnarly heavy, and so
It
was
was
Under Oath.
stupid heavy, like the song "Diamonds Aren't Forever."
Yeah, dude. And now there is literally a generation of kids out there listening to
I
them.
used to be at parties, and I'd be like, I'm gonna just be like, "We will never sleep because sleep is for the weak. No, we will never rest till we're all fucking dead." And people are like, "What?"
And then you just like
And
go
then
into
I
this
would
crazy
fucking break
breakdown.
something.
Yeah, you got to kick a TV in afterwards. But Under Oath had this album. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. For shame on me, it may come back. But they had songs on it like "A Love So Pure," and this is how you really got into. Hey, they're a Christian band. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They were heavy as fuck, but in the song "A Love So Pure," like they just stop and they have this slow breakdown, and he's just like, "Jesus Christ, I love you. I love you, Jesus." And I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay, next.
Yeah,
But
you
it was
mean,
just
like-
weird because it was, that's Satan's music.
Man,
That's,
talk about people are always talking about Christians being offended. What about non-Christians being offended by Christians loving Christ?
yeah, dude, how dare you love your own God? Get out of my face with that. No, yeah, I can't say I'm offended by it. It was just unexpected, It was,
I had this thought the other day because I was going through radio stations, and I was just hitting the seek button, and I stopped to do something else, like grab my Gatorade or whatever the fuck I was drinking, and then I just
pull your hands out from underneath
wasn't
your
even-
gym shorts.
yeah masturbating down I-76. I just start driving. Well, I just start driving again. Like I'm not thinking about it, and the radio, like the music playing, I'm not even thinking about it, and it starts talking about Jesus. I'm like, how long have I been listening to Christian music?
Wow, this is Gospel 95.
Yeah, like continue.
Okay, so Under Oath, Reinventing Your Exit is probably the first song I'd heard by them. And I was like, wow, this is neat. And they had a very like high quality music video. It's like a guy running away from himself the whole video. And like he doesn't realize that it's himself towards the end of it, and then like he walks into this room and like the same shit happens, and it's like everything repeats and starts over again.
I feel like the Used and Under Oath both were like the record label plants to be like, we want people to be into Screamo, because if you look, they had more high quality stuff than everybody else
Yeah.
out there at the time.
The Taste of Ink video was
Yeah.
fucking badass, and then you got into their later albums with like The Bird and the Worm.
You look at other bands that it looks like they were filming like a Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
They were like, here's $200 for a music video, you got to use a Sony Handycam.
Oh, dude, I'll just call Steve. He's got like a fucking Nikon D75.
They're like,
And
no,
dude,
this has HD. It's fine.
Trust me, it's in the scene. Okay, kids are into this shit. I don't know if they really were. Like, I really like the visually appealing stuff.
Yeah.
It got me into the song a lot too. So going on to Under Oath again. That's probably the band that I've seen the most, and I regret not going to their recent concert where they played that album with Reinventing Your Exit on it, and they played it in its entirety. It was nuts. But you're talking about the Used and Under Oath being like the Plaster Children. Like, dude, they headlined
Service
like,
Team
Warped
was-
Tour.
Yeah,
And I've seen them play at Warped Tour like 4 times. And
that's the thing. That's why I think they were the plant, though, because they were the ones with the high quality music videos. They were headlining tour. Like, look at Billie Eilish. She just headlined Coachella. Before she headlined Coachella, I had never even heard of her, and they're like, yeah, she's headlining. I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, it's actually come out that like the record company has been like, hey, the record company has been pushing her to the top. So that's why I think with those bands, that's what they were going for. They were trying to capitalize on like that. The emo is kind of coming down when they were trying to capitalize on it. So it's like, well, what if we try and be more edgy? Because that's just what happens. Whenever something starts to come down, people are like, what if we try and make it more edgy? Let's try and make our product more edgy. How can we make our product more edgy? Let's add screaming to it.
yeah.
And then you found these bands that have already been doing that.
And then you make your poster child, and then
Yeah.
those other bands get lit up in the background.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everybody's like, whoa. And now this guy's like, hey, do you guys want a record deal? And now you got other people, and there's this whole collab of these people on this one record. Like, I talk a lot about Victory Records, but if you listen to any band on Victory Records,
Victory
they're
was so big, though. They were so
they're
influential.
great,
with
dude.
them.
They're great. So many good bands on there, man.
And you look at God, Victory even now, like Victory's gone to like Victory's kind of gone
Jesus.
down. I apologize. Victory's gone down in years, but
Yeah. They were big then.
But back then it was like if you were anybody, you were signed to Victory Records.
Yes.
And it started off with bands like Snapcase signed to Victory Records. The Refused were signed to Victory Records. And then it just
Day to Remember is.
Day to Remember is signed to them. Yeah, now it's a lot of metal bands because even going to like Mayhem Festival, what they gave like I was getting like a Victory Records compilation. It was like, yeah, here's Thy Art Is Murder and like Feeder to the Sharks and stuff. Like
Yeah, they pick up on I don't know that metal scene I guess, and
they kind of, yeah, because they picked. I mean, it used to be because metal used to be just Roadrunner Records, and now it's like Napalm Death picked up like the remnants of like a lot of the
Yeah.
Roadrunner guys.
I didn't think about that.
Or no, it's Nuclear Blast picked up on because Napalm Death was signed to Roadrunner, but then it was Nuclear Blast signed to all the old Roadrunner guys like Machine Head and Slayer and stuff.
Yeah. It's like bands like that. Like at this point, why don't you just do the Motley Crue and do your own shit? Like,
Make your own record label.
yeah, why are you paying other people to own your?
Look what happened to Taylor
money?
Swift. She lost all of her albums.
Yeah,
She literally lost her life's work. So,
sad story. But Warped Tour was a big one for those bands.
Warped Tour was like if you were an emo or a screamo band, you were on Warped Tour, and that's
Whether
why,
you're playing main stage or side stage,
yeah, it didn't matter. And then Warped Tour, quote unquote, ceased to be a thing, but now it's like only in select cities because it went downhill. But you look at the last year of Warped Tour, they had bands like Taking Back Sunday and Alexis on Fire and stuff. They'd come and play select shows. They'd be on the tour for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
God. Victory Records and Warped Tour kind of just went hand in hand.
Yeah, dude. It's like Victory made Warped Tour.
Well, Warped Tour's been, well, I guess, no, Victory's been around for a while, too.
Yeah, I mean, Warped Tour used to be more punk rock, and then
Then the emo bands hit, and it just became more emo and screamo, and
I lost respect for Warped Tour when I seen Bring Me the Horizon play on stage next to Katy Perry. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not coming back next year. This is weird. But, I don't know. I still think it was
I just had
cool to see.
I just had $1 million idea, and I will explain it to you afterwards.
Yeah, don't let the millions slip away from us.
Yeah, the ones that we will never have.
This is our chance, Kenny. But going on, you got a lot of other bands that evolved from, the emo stage, the screamo stage. Like A Day to Remember is a good one to talk about because they do a really good mix. Whether you guys are into them or not,
I think everybody, A Day to Remember just has that appeal to them that, like,
they were so fun when they first came out, and I think that was around 2007 was like their first
2008.
album. 2008.
Yeah, around the same time, yeah.
And hell, dude, they had the crazy fucking like covers. Like they did Cable Car. They did
They were a lot on the pop goes punk,
yeah, and
or punk goes pop.
that was that was on one of the albums actually.
Whatever
that's
it's
another
called.
good thing to touch on too. But they had their slow, sad boy emo shit, and then they would split the album up, and then the other half, like it's usually like the second half of that album, dude. They just come out with this heavy fucking crazy shit, man. Downfall of Us All, for instance, was like that good mix of both of those genres
Yes.
put into one. And I'll never forget the first time I heard that song. They started out, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And he's like, let's go. And then they play the same shit that they had just said. And I was like, this is fucking dope. And then it's like this little drum roll comes in, and then it's this really happy tone singing, happy key guitar, and I was mind fucked. I was like, how is this? This is crazy. And then they go back into this breakdown metal shit, and I was like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
This is really good. And
Again, they are kind of what Screamo evolved into. It's bands with that kind of sound.
yeah. And you can see just, looking at them straight on, like you could see who's behind them, like, hey, good luck, son.
Yeah.
Like that was the shit to do, I guess, but I don't know what happened. I got into really deep conversation with a buddy Jim of mine the one day, and we were talking about and he had said these words. He said, "What the fuck happened to these kids?" Like two things went through my mind when he said that. Like one, what happened to them? Where are they at now? You know what I mean? Like, why don't we see this kind of fucking good music anymore? Like, I mean, we still see it, but I mean that specific type. And the lyrics, the play style, the singing, like the brotherhood,
Musical tastes change and people grow up, and that's kind of what happens. Because like
yeah,
you see bands like for example like AFI, like they had all that angsty youth, and then they kind of just got old, and we're like, okay, we're gonna think about different stuff now. We're not gonna play minute and a half long songs. Here's like a 3 minute long ballad and I'm like, nobody wants that, but that's what they want to play now.
yeah. If that's what you're doing, I guess fuck it.
Yeah, you're not, so it's bands like that they just kind of. I mean, I don't want to say like grow up because I still like old AFI and I wish we hadn't grown up, but you can't do that stuff forever. That's what happened to like Linkin Park. They just weren't angry kids anymore.
They evolved.
They just they just kind of evolved into being, because I mean, at the end of Linkin Park's career, I swear to God, they were on Radio Disney.
Yeah, they were poppy, man.
Yeah, they decided they were gonna be a pop band because I don't know, they weren't angry kids anymore, so they just got lighter with their stuff. And
but the other thing that went through my head when Jim had said that, he what had happened to these kids, like what had happened in those kids' lifetimes to be able to write music like that. So led me down like this chain of events of like, man, these guys probably had some really fucked up childhoods. Either that or like they're really good at writing music about stuff that doesn't happen to them.
I think it just came from like grunge though, because grunge was kind of the start where like you saw these kids. Because I mean, we kind of dick ride Nirvana here, but you kind of go with you go with like Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain couldn't sing,
yeah,
but Kurt Cobain made noises with his mouth, but like the message he was getting across. So then you get up to these kids who they learn how to scream, and they kind of have that same like message, like the rebellious youth and like being sad about shit.
And he had that raspy already scream voice.
Yeah, I believe it was Dave Grohl said that it sounded like they were boiling nails inside of his throat.
Oh shit.
I might have been Butch Vig. It was on one of the Nirvana documentaries I watched. I think it was the one on the one on Nevermind. On like how they recorded it. It was either Butch Vig or Dave Grohl just talked about how like his vocals were just so raspy. But you take people who like that song, like that sound, but then they could learn how to sing, but they still were thinking about the same thing in their head.
Yeah. So they got this idea.
Yeah, it's the same idea. Yeah, it's the same like grungy idea, but then they decide they want to be better vocalists. But then you have that one kid, he's like, well, I can't sing that well, but I can just really scream. And then he, through vocal lessons or whatever, he learns how to utilize that voice. So that's where they came from. And then just eventually they're just not angry anymore, or they're not sad anymore, so they can't.
More refined, like you said that earlier, and that's a good way to put it. They refined their music, they refined their personalities, and they became somebody different. Right. So I guess Jim, that answers that question, dude.
A lot of those bands broke up too.
Yeah, and that's what's sad, man. You got a lot of cool bands that no longer exist, other than on some digital recording.
Yeah.
For instance, one like we didn't talk about.
And then some of them are like so small you can't find out what happened to them too.
Yeah.
It'll be a band you're like, okay, they broke up. What happened to them? I don't know. Like they went out and like became like somebody became like a teacher or some shit. Like,
yeah, like Wikipedia's still looking for references.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like, yeah, the band broke up and this guy might be a teacher, but then he quit being a teacher. And you're like, what does he do now? Does he work like in a mill or something?
He might fight for the UFC. I don't know, dude. It's been a while. But one of those bands, Story of the Year.
Oh man.
Did you listen to them?
No.
No? Oh. They were
Screamo is not my thing. I know a lot of these bands you're talking about, but it's just I never really listened to them because I was never really big into it. Well, I was more into it than I thought I was originally.
Yeah.
When you brought this topic up, I'm like, I've never listened to Screamo in my life, and then I just see all these bands, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you can say they're Screamo.
Yeah, being a music snob, you're going to think post-hardcore. Well, Story of the Year, we should touch base with them. They were kind of out of the norm. Like they didn't have that look at all. You know what I mean? Like towards like when they got really big, like the guy had like a shaved head, and just wore like a plain gray t-shirt and fucking jeans and a pair of Vans. You know what I mean? It was cool as fuck though. But they had, I think the one that got them really big was Until the Day I Die, and that's he sang. And
I
he
will
was really
actually I will occasionally sing that song.
So,
I never knew
so
that
you
was
do know
story.
him? Yeah,
I never
yeah.
knew that was story of the year.
Those lyrics, man.
Because I would always be because at work I'll be on whatever I'm doing, and I would just start screaming that. I would just be like, "Until the day I die."
Yeah, dude, that's story of the year.
Yeah, I just
And
knew
so
it
you
was-
listen to those lyrics, and you're like, that's emo as shit. My hands around your throat, and I think I hate you. Like I was
Yeah.
always like, damn, man, that's pretty good. But in the end, like he's always like, I'm always gonna love you. And there's just that very ending, man. He puts so much fucking emotion into it. Until the day I die. You're like, it's just 15-year-old kid, just broke up with your first girlfriend. You're like, I fucking love you. Damn it.
I wish I'd go back to being 14 and listening to. I wish that kind of music was still around, but that's just the music of my youth. So
If I could go back in time, I would like take this kind of shit, like that's out now, like this metalcore stuff. I'm like, hey, bro, write this.
yeah,
Like, here, look. Like, we already know how to play guitar. We're pretty shitty at it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get better. But just start writing this shit right now, and go talk to some people. And then, like, here we would be, again, doing the podcast deal. But you'd have been my drummer.
yeah.
Kenny, I got this good idea. What? We got to use 2 foot pedals on the kick drum. Why? Just, we got to do it. It's dope. Sounds so good. I think it'd be sweet.
Yeah, because man, that's completely off topic. But I mean, it was what we're talking. Because like you see the old metal music videos from like the 80s and stuff, they have like 4 fucking kick drums.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, why? You can only the most you can play is 2. You can literally only play 2.
Fucking Neil Peart with his goddamn like 360 drum set. Like,
Yeah.
Why do you need that much? Neil, drum solo of life.
Because he needs it.
Like that's dude. And there's a lot of good guitar work. Don't get me wrong. Especially with these guys doing these crazy time signatures, and I've always thought it was impressive to see a band play live, and everyone always knows like when you do that offbeat shit to be on beat about it, like dude, and like you see it live, and you're like, wow, they all fucking hit that same note same time, like they must have been rehearsing. But
Yeah.
that was something you couldn't just bring out of your ass. I think it's the drummer from Meshuggah. He says like a lot of their stuff when he goes to write it, he'll like write
Tom
drums.
McKee?
He'll write
That-
drums on the computer first, and then like play them on a set afterwards.
He's probably he's probably like top 3 best drummers alive right now.
We getting into this conversation because I got another one to throw
Later
up there.
on, not right
Oh
now.
no! I'm saying, yeah. I'd say he's up there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like you wanna
We
go that era?
we have unlimited amount of episodes left to talk about unlimited amount of things.
Joey Jordison, he's fucking badass. But my favorite top of the line is fucking Matt Garska. He plays drums for Animals as Leaders, and to keep time with those guys, like he's got 2 brains. He's got to have 2 brains. There's no way he doesn't have 2 brains. Like
I'm not getting into this.
yeah, we should should talk about that. That'd be good, man. It's nuts. But being man,
I'm not getting into it right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this, Kenny.
Okay, no, we're not getting into
No,
it right
we're
now.
getting into it on our next episode, and then we just fade to
okay.
black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that'd be good. I mean, now they know the idea, but
Now you ruined it.
it's
but
okay. It's okay. We're still gonna do it though, and we'll just end it, and then everybody will be like, "Oh, I didn't see this coming," but no, you guys knew. So come on, name some more, guys. Name some more here.
I wasn't. I mean, was Seosin, were they considered Screamo? Or were they more?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, dude.
Because the only thing I know about Seosin is "Show Me Your Booty Hole."
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Inform me.
Oh my God.
Let's learn together.
Oh no, I'll show it to you when we're done.
What, your booty hole?
No, not my booty hole.
I was like,
I'll show you the
I was
song.
excited.
It's kind of like, remember? Oh God, Motionless in White did Santa's Pissed.
Yeah.
Like before they were even a thing. That was kind of like what Seosin did with Show Me Your Booty Hole.
Oh, okay. Well, Seosin had a little bit of that screaming. Like Anthony Green is like the fucking poster child for female sounding leads. You know, that guy's voice is just. I'm pretty sure he could crack a glass. You know what I mean? And I'm not exaggerating. I just feel like he might be able to resonate that note, but. He was inspirational as shit.
I mean, would
dude.
Circus Survive be like?
Circus Survive
would that
was
be like a thing too? Then
those were the same guys. There.
Anthony
Green. And then you had the Anthony Green Band, and if you remember from one of our music videos in WMHS Live, the one where Bob Ord cured cancer.
What?
You don't remember that one?
No.
It was the intro video to WMHS
I remember some of them.
Live.
I remember.
It was like the one about Bob Ord. And there was an Anthony Green song.
The one where
I've been dying to reach you.
He didn't cure cancer.
No, but whoever made the video made like a fucking newspaper article about all this crazy shit that Bob Ord did. And he's like, Bob Ord cures cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Ord discovers life on Mars. Like,
yeah, no, the music video was just like, what? Was it the English teacher and the art teacher like trying to call each other or some shit? Yeah. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, well,
Dear Child is the name of the song.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Yes, it is.
By Anthony Green?
Yes. Dear Child by Anthony Green. That's the name of the song.
I've been trying to reach you,
but
my
your extension cord wouldn't reach that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dear Child's name of the song.
Oh, jeez. Mr. I don't know anything about this. And then you're like, it's this, okay? The song's 3 minutes and 42 seconds long.
How long.
They recorded it in 4 takes. Anthony had to piss during the second take.
I just have random fucking music knowledge, okay?
Random fucking knowledge. Let me hit this vape. Hold on a second.
Oh, jeez. I mean, I do like Anthony Green, but I don't know. I just never really got into Screamo as much, but I mean, Seosin, Circus Survive, I guess they would be Screamo.
A little bit.
I mean, Circus Survive, they're still around though, right?
Seosin, I believe, is the one that's still around.
Yeah, but I thought Circus Survive was a later project. I thought, like, when he's not doing Seosin stuff, he does Circus Survive stuff.
Well, no. Here's the deal with Anthony Green. He always fucking quits. They don't just, hey, I'm going to my side project. He's like, no, I fucking quit. And then he leaves. And then he goes and does stuff with Circus Survive. And he's like, you know what? I fucking quit. And then he goes back to Seosin. Okay, 3 years ago it was, Seosin came back to Pittsburgh, and they played at Mr. Small's. And there's an ad that came on it for my fucking Pandora, okay? And it's Anthony Green. He's like, hey, guys, this is Anthony Green. Come see us play at Mr. Small's this weekend before I quit the band again. Okay, bye. And then, like, that was the end of the ad. I was like, did this really just happen? Like, is he making fun of himself? And then he did, like, a solo acoustic set afterwards, after they were all done. He's like, yeah, I'm a big deal. You guys need to watch me play after the headline.
See, I always get Anthony Green and Andrew WK confused for some, like, every time.
How could you?
I don't know, because every time in my head that somebody says Anthony Green, I picture Andrew WK, and I'm like, no, they're two different people. I could see
getting Dallas Green and Anthony Green mixed up, but Andrew WK.
Just their image, not who they are as people. But sometimes I'll be like, oh, the lead singer of Seosin, you mean Andrew WK? I don't know why. It's just a weird thing.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit retarded.
Sometimes I think that maybe Anthony Green likes to party.
He might. He might party hard.
Probably does coke. There's a good chance he does coke.
That's how he got his voice so high. He just had so much coke dripping down the back of his throat that, like, his vocal cords were numb, so it didn't hurt anymore. And then when he woke up in the morning, his vocal cords were already used to it, so he just did it again. I guess he wouldn't wake up in the morning. He'd just be in the morning.
I took a large girl on a date before, and I'm pretty sure she was all about Anthony Green.
I thought you were saying she was doing coke.
No.
Wow, she was large?
No, she was a large girl. Large. It was like a Tinder date.
Dang.
Yeah. Back in the day.
This reminds me of Albert's story. We should tell Albert's story.
We should just bring Albert on just to tell a story and then kick him out of here.
Yeah. Now get the fuck out of the basement. Now get the fuck out of here.
All right, Albert. Thanks for the story. Hey, by the way, before you, bring Albert in, have him tell a story, and be like, all right, Albert. So how do you feel about Tom McKee, the drummer from Meshuggah? He'll be like, what's Meshuggah? I'm like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Albert, I already called you a cab. It's outside. We didn't even sleep together yet. Yeah, I know. I know. Get out of here. No, let's just tell it. We'll tell it for Albert.
Okay.
So if he's
Albert,
listening.
if you're listening, we're gonna tell the story for you. And if you're not listening, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Albert, just so you guys understand, is one of the most polite people I've ever met in my life. Like, he'll get cut off in conversation and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, my bad." And I was like, "No, that guy's an asshole, dude. Don't apologize to him. He's a dickhead." But what, he was on Tinder?
He was on Tinder. He found a girl. She was pretty good looking. He saw her picture. He's like, oh, she's not bad looking. So he goes to...
Well, wait. He swiped right?
He swiped right. She swiped right. They were talking. He's like, okay, let's meet up for a date. They go on a date to, like, Rachel's in Butler. So they're in Butler. And then he's sitting in his truck, and he sees this girl get out. And he's texting, and then he sees her texting. He's like, oh, no, it can't be. So then he's like...
See, I heard the more detailed version. He said he got there a little bit early.
Yeah, and he was
so
waiting
he was waiting her. He's like, hey, I'm over here. I'm here right now. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'm running behind. I'll be there in a second. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm in a blah, blah, blah blue car. And he's like, okay, cool. And he said he's seen that blue car pull in. And he's like, what? Is that her?
He was texting.
There's no way.
He's like, where are you? And she was like, I'm by the dumpsters.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no. And it's like this just... Apparently like a troll of a woman. I always picture that... Well, if you've never watched Man Seeking Woman, which is, by the way, one of the best comedy shows ever. Go watch the first 2 seasons on Hulu. Anyway.
What you were saying?
I just wanted to plug Man Seeking Woman because I love that show.
Kenny.
Anyway, Albert...
Somebody just made money off of that.
No, they didn't. They canceled the show like 3 years ago.
Yeah. You plug it again.
Yeah. Okay, Man Seeking Woman. It was on FXX, but now you can watch it on Hulu. The first 2 seasons are good. The 3rd season kind of sucks, but it hasn't been on the air for like 2 years now, so 2-3 years. Albert meets this girl, and they go inside. And usually he's... Again, we said he was very polite. Usually,
yeah, super polite.
He'll put the napkin on like his knee and shit.
Before you go on, like he is so polite. Everybody else told him like, dude, why the hell didn't you just drive away and like just not text her back? He's like, well, because I already got her to drive all the way out here, and I figured like it would just be very rude. So then he proceeded to go on with the date.
Yeah, but then on his date, usually he'd order like a chicken salad or something, but instead he orders like a Reuben because it's like the messiest thing he can get, and he's squeezing the sandwich so all like the $1,000 dressing comes out. It's like all over his hands, and he's like wiping his mouth with his shirt sleeve,
like smacking his lips
and like wiping his hands on his shirt and stuff, so he's a mess. And
said he kept cutting her off anytime she'd go to talk and just being really rude.
And then, you know, she told him some stuff, and he's like, this is really fucked up. And then he leaves, and she's like, that's the best date I've ever been on.
And he's telling us this, and he's like, I was the biggest piece of shit I'd ever, like, been in my life. And this girl was, like, really into it. We're like, so did you text her back? And he's like, no.
We were saying very vulgar things to him.
Oh, some very vulgar things. However, he had a vulgar comment. He said right before he went in, he's seen her, and he's like, well... maybe I could try and get some head out of this at least. And I was like, Albert, Jesus. I've never heard that from you before. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm sure Albert's into Screamo.
He probably would listen to the used while getting head.
Oh, man.
He's like,
is it worth the candy? Oh, fuck. I wonder what song he'd pick. You know? It'd be good. Oh, let's see.
The bird and the worm.
The bird and the worm.
Because he has the bird, and he's got the worm.
Is she the early one? Because she got the worm. See, I'm just going through here, because I got this little list of notes.
Oh my god, you made notes?
Oh, jeez. We didn't talk about these guys, and pretty good one to talk about here. But From Autumn to Ashes.
I've never heard of them.
You've never listened From Autumn to Ashes?
No, because I'm a piece of shit.
Ooh, dude, I actually have like a personal... like acoustic cover of one of their songs that I do. They have this song called Short Stories with Tragic Endings. And it starts out and it's so pretty, dude. Like, I was like, wow, this is great. And then like, it just like goes in this fucking fast ass. Yeah, say that was good. And you're like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, dude, sick. Like, but it was crazy because then at the end of it, it's like they all like really set all that energy, and they're like, okay. Well, they actually had like Autumn was, I believe, the guitarist or the singer's sister. I could be completely wrong. I don't even fucking remember. It's been fucking like 14 years since I read that. But she would come on occasionally and she would sing. And she sang at the end of Short Stories and Tragic Endings. And it's just like this guy screaming like fucking nuts. And then all of a sudden they just go into this slow little acoustic guitar part. And Autumn comes out and she's singing. And it's like the most beautiful shit. And you're just like, what the fuck is this?
That is the one thing with Screamo, though, is like you'll have like the acoustic breakdown, or like you'll have like, they always do the thing where they'll have like the low breakdown, it'll get soft, and then all of a sudden they come back and punch you right in the face. They fucking just start hammering on those chords.
That's the way it should be.
They just start screaming.
I've always thought about that. Like when I write my own music, call it funny, but I try to write it like a techno song, not like do 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 do. No, you got to have this like slow, steady build up until you get to the very fucking end, and then you just like drop it on them. You know what I mean? And
it's not so much a drop though. It's like they'll hit you, then they'll bring you back.
Yeah.
And then they'll fucking smack you again. Yeah. And they'll bring you back.
It's like being baptized by a pissed off priest. Like, you fucking like that?
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it? Yeah, we'll go again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's true though. That's literally how it is.
Yeah, it's like that's where Jefferson Airplane went wrong.
By becoming Starship?
No, they gave you this big build up, and then she's like, feed your head, and you're waiting for this fucking drop, and like all this shit's going on, and it's fucking, she's screaming, and you're like, oh shit, here it comes, and then it's over, and you're like, talk about anxiety.
Yeah.
This is where this shit comes from. Fucking waiting for these bands to finish their goddamn shit, dude, And here I thought I was nervous about the job interview I had. No, I'm still waiting for fucking Jefferson Airplane to finish, like, feeding somebody's head. You know what I mean? Like, just bring it back down, dude. Bring it back down, then bring it back up, and then bring it back down one more time and end it. Then that'd be good. Do you want to go through the list?
Yeah.
Let's see
go
what
ahead,
we got.
Go ahead, name them off.
Oh, we didn't mention Bless the Fall, did we? No.
No.
See, I didn't listen to them much. I have them on my Pandora now, and I listen to them. Ooh, Dance Gavin Dance.
But see, Dance Gavin Dance. Still,
they were more metalcore.
Yeah, they were more metalcore.
But they were early metalcore.
Doctor All Day, who listens to our podcast, is a big Dance Gavin Dance person.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, dude. They were 2005.
Yeah, but they're still making stuff. As far as I know, yeah.
But I mean, like, that metalcore scene, that's pretty fucking early.
That's more, in my opinion, that's more metalcore. Dr. O'Day, next time you adjust my spine, let me know.
I could go with this one. And this would be, one that, stuff that got evolved from that. Because, they came out in 2009, but of Mice and Men.
See, of Mice and Men, yeah, I could see that.
Like, it's definitely that influence.
Yeah.
You can see where they came from.
It's the influence that it's not so much they were a Screamo band, but they took that from the Screamo.
Yeah, I would say you could, like the way he sings and then screams, like they've got a lot of heavy metal influences though, but yeah,
a lot of people who like the not like the Screamo, like a lot of people who are into like metalcore got that from like the Screamo sound, you know what I mean? Like I know a lot of friends who like the Screamo stuff, and now they're into bands like of Mice and Men and The Day to Remember and Dance Gavin Dance. But
yeah,
you can see where all the influence came from. So
Chiodos.
Oh man,
I
forgot
to touch
about
on.
them. I forgot about them.
I'm glad this list was here.
God, back when I dated your cousin in like
Marissa?
Yeah, like 8th grade.
Yeah, dude, Chiodos was the shit.
She liked them.
And
I think.
Yeah, okay, you're talking about these bands now, blah 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 blah. Chiodos was one of the first Screamo bands I ever heard do lows. You know what I mean? What is it? The words "best friend" become redefined.
I think it was. I don't remember.
Oh, that one's my favorite. And he just brings it up to this like slow, sad kind of. I don't know what you want to call it, like this piano kind of build up, and then he's like singing, and then like they just go into this weird breakdown. And in my opinion, this all started with like the screamo stuff, breakdowns. You know what I mean? Like the chorus shit. Now they refined it, they mastered it. But you know, these guys would do. And Chiodos was an example. If you look at that song, the words "best friend" become redefined. He goes into this weird guitar part, like dun 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 dun. But then he played these stupid off notes that had no place in the song whatsoever. I mean, they were not musically matched. Nothing about it. He just literally went dun dun dee dun 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 dee dun dun dee, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So I'm like looking up the tabs, like how the fuck? You know what I mean? It's like this weird fucking 2.5 fret bend, and you're like, that's not even on the same
Right.
like scale there. Like, okay, but you know, but it was in that breakdown where he's like, and I just see you, and I was like, okay, that was different. Like normally you just always get, you know, them high pitched screams like Hawthorne Heights and all that shit. You know, nobody ever did lows. It's like, where did that come from? Was
Well, just
Chiodos the start of it?
someone trying to like just get themselves to be different is all.
Yeah, and then it turned into
It's how you distinguish yourself, and eventually just evolves into a whole other genre of
Insanity,
music.
dude.
Yeah.
How do you think people like that feel? Like, proud? You know, I would be.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, I was like one of the first people to do this.
Yeah, no, you weren't. Check this out.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, that I think that would be an amazing feeling to be one of the first. You know what I mean? And then like, I don't know. Would that even be something that would be approachable? You know, you could walk up to a person and tell them like, hey, dude, you realize you're the reason that metalcore exists, right? No, me? Get out of here! Like, you know what I mean?
You never see it until like 10 years later.
Yeah,
When you're
it
like,
would
"That's-
definitely be a matter of opinion as well.
it would be like, this is where it came from, and you're like, no, you're like, oh, check this out. This is the roots of that. So
Roots,
again,
Bloody Roots?
fucking love Sepultura. Let's talk about
There's some lows. I didn't think about that. Yeah, we should do that. Like, look, man, I'm telling you, I got this great plan for metal.
My
'Cause
thing.
metal's too big for us to do it in one episode. So
Yeah. Oh God, we have to do a lot of metal episodes.
yeah,
Screamo though, what I was gonna say is, you see now where it's bands. So Screamo basically takes, well, you go back to punk rock, and then hardcore has its roots in punk rock, and then you have post-hardcore and emo, and Screamo have their roots in hardcore, and now you have bands like metalcore bands that have their roots in that stuff. So you can always just trace it back to somebody. So
Yeah.
a band like A Day to Remember, go back and you'll see that, okay, they were probably influenced by someone in the Screamo, because they do some of that Screamo stuff. And
it's
then,
like, all right, well, this screamo guy was definitely influenced by this hardcore guy.
right, and then he
This
was
hardcore
definitely
guy was
influenced.
by this punk guy.
Yeah, and
So you can kind of say,
and eventually it just goes back to everyone was like influenced by the Beatles.
yeah, like so. A Day to Remember was really into John Lennon.
Yeah, basically.
And you know what they say about John Lennon?
we can't make this joke on this. Yeah.
Hey, we could say it. Twice.
Basically, everyone goes back to Ringo Starr. Every drummer's like, I want to be Ringo Starr.
Okay, this is really off topic, but there's an episode of Family Guy where they're making fun of the Beatles, and Ringo Starr comes out and he goes, "Hey, everybody, I wrote a song," and he's like got it all out on paper, and then like Paul McCartney grabs it from him and he's like, "Oh, good job, Ringo. We'll put that one up on the refrigerator."
Oh, man.
Sticks a magnet and sticks it up there. He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
So overall, Screamo in itself, I don't know. Much like you said, punk, man. It was a flash in the pan. It was something that spanned maybe 3 to 4 years, 2006 to stretching it at 2009.
It just was so heavy though when it came out. Like whenever it came out, it had such a weight to it because everyone. It was basically that Hot Topic scene. It was being.
That's a good way to put it.
It was if you shopped at Hot Topic, but you were too hardcore.
Yeah.
You saw those people, you saw those emo kids. You're like, I'm not like them. I scream.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It's the Hot Topic in the MySpace scene. Same with emo. It's that same type of vibe, except for you were more hardcore than them because, you wore the Vans instead of the Converse.
Yeah. And, so reiterating, going back, you got that, but then I guess you could say with every musical genre, but Screamo in itself was a fashion statement too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you had a, like, we talked about it before, but kids are impressionable, man. You know what I mean?
Rar,
You see
I'm a
this guy doing
dinosaur,
that.
XD.
Yeah. And I don't know, especially when Facebook came, or Facebook, man, MySpace would definitely be the big one though. But MySpace, everybody had these profile pictures, and they did this, and there was a certain angle. You had to listen to this band. If you didn't like Asking Alexandria, you're not good enough for me, and shit like that.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, it was a good movement. Something that still holds heavy roots to me today. I still go back and I still listen to these guys all the time. I still have fucking Census Fail album in my car, Let It Enfold You, and I mean, I listen to that quite often. I mean, I don't own a lot of CDs, but that's one of them. And it's weird how they find you. Like, my wife found that at work, covered in fucking like fiberglass. So she's a fiberglass technician, but she like pulled it out. It was like over in the little mudroom they had. And she was like, "What is this? Holy fuck! It's a Census Fail album." And she's like, "Babe, look what I found." And I was like, "Dude, sick!" One of the coolest covers I've ever seen out of an album, though.
Covered in, what, just a bunch of fiberglass and mud on it?
No, the fucking the Census Fail album. That's the one where he's in that bathroom and it's fucking shattered, and the dude looks like he's all in a suit and he's got his hand on it, and then like the reflection in the mirror is screaming, and he's like, there's literal hell in the background, like everything's on fire.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
That was another cool thing about that whole genre, man. It was artsy movement. Very artsy movement. It's hard to deny that, too. Those motherfuckers were creative, man.
Yeah.
It's like Jim said, what happened to these kids? The fuck happened to those kids? We called it the Caravan, though. Said everybody, so that whole genre, like everybody who listened to that shit, is the Caravan. We're going to start a caravan of people to bring that movement back. But we're going to start out by buying a 97 Dodge Caravan and get everybody into it. And we're going to redo the video from Scary Kids Scaring Kids. And then bust into Walmart, grab some Red Bulls, and then we're going to go to Hot Topic and buy some fucking pants.
I don't even know if they sell those pants at Hot Topic
Trips?
anymore. I don't know if you can get those anymore.
But you can fucking get them on eBay.
Yeah, you can probably get them
You
on
can get
eBay.
shit that they don't sell anymore on eBay. So I guarantee, fuck, I can get flavors of Monster on eBay that they stopped making years ago. They're probably not any good, but
Oh my god, can I get Rockstar Bumbleberry?
maybe.
I love that shit.
You can get like old. I felt like I was gonna say something redundant, but no, like old Old Spice flavors or not flavor scents.
I'm a stupid piece of shit.
You Texas piece of shit. That's a microphone. Yeah, like scents for Old Spice body wash that doesn't exist anymore. Like you can find it on eBay, but they're like $40 a fucking bottle.
I'm not buying that.
Jesus, man, I know.
Fiji or bust.
CG?
Fiji.
Fiji.
The Old Spice Fiji?
Yeah.
I use that or Bear Glove, one of the two. Depends on my mood.
I like Dove for Men.
Dove for men doesn't make
My
sense.
skin gets dry,
Like
Kenny.
the Dove 3-in-1?
Fuck no. You think I put Dove 3 for 1 in this hair?
No, you should probably use Aussie, actually.
Actually, I use Garnier Fructis.
Oh, really? I use Aussie Volume. Go ahead and fill my hair.
Oh, shit. Let me see this. Wow, dude. You got a lot of volume in that.
I told you.
Damn. It's good. I'll try it out. I probably won't. I'm probably just going to keep buying Garnier Fructis.
Oh, man. Okay, guys. We're
trailing off here
Yeah,
now.
we're like tapped out.
Yeah. A little tapped out. I mean, what more do you want me to say? I loved it. It's a movie. Like I said, dude, that shit's gonna stick with me for my life. Teach my kid about it. My wife's into this shit now. I like to show her these bands. It's cool to find people who don't listen to that type of music, who are kind of into the same feel, and showing me like, dude, you ever heard these guys? You ever heard these guys? So, like, if you guys ever get a chance and you guys are sitting around, whether you're with some, if you're a girl and you're with all your girlfriends and you guys are downstairs drinking wine or something, if you're with your boys and you're downstairs drinking beers with the bros, grab either a phone or a television and have somebody turn on a song on YouTube, and then pass the controller. Be like, all right, now your turn. You guys will go through some reminiscent shit.
Oh yeah.
You'll learn about some new music. Sick ass game to play, for sure. But tell us your favorite emo band, screamo band rather. If we missed something, like, I'd like to hear it, because I mean, I know there weren't a shit ton of them out there, but
We probably missed some too.
yeah.
I mean, it's okay though. So just go ahead, leave us a comment with your favorite emo or screamo band. Give us a like.
Yeah, follow us.
Because some of you comment on our shit and then you don't like our shit.
How do you comment on my page but you don't like it, bro? Just like it. Doesn't mean you don't like us.
Yeah.
You got shit to say? I'm kidding. I still appreciate any feedback you guys give us. We both do.
We'd actually like more feedback because we want to try and make a better product here.
Yeah. We apologize for the shitty background. You know, we're in a basement in Mercer right now, looking to buy a new house, so trying to get a studio gig going here.
And we are going to be just look for a post later this week because we're gonna order T-shirts and we're gonna have them made. So if you want one, just look for a post. We're gonna have one made.
Yeah, we'll get.
We've been bragging that for weeks now, and we've just been busy working a lot. So
every fucking weekend. But yeah, we'll have prices on there. If you guys did see our tumblers, we will have those for sale as well. Those are going to take longer to make.
And actually,
they're going to cost more too.
They are totally worth it because the one I gave Josh, he put his cold beer into it, and then he went away for 3 hours, and he's like, well, you know, what is it? If you don't drink if you need a beer to stay cold that long, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
And then he goes back 3 hours later, he's like, oh shit, I forgot this beer. Wow, it's still cold. So.
Okay, true story about this tumbler, and not even talking him up. I mean, I was just seriously mind fucked. Like, I get it now, okay? But 4th of July, we went to the zoo, and we were day drinking. Like, my wife wasn't, but like, my in-laws' mutual friends and my mutual friend John, they're like, oh yeah, John's just day drinking all day. I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm gonna drink a beer then. So I cracked a beer open, drank it, went out, gave John one, and I came back in and I poured 2 beers, and they weren't fridge cold. They were just, just out of fridge cold. Put them in there, drank a little bit on the way to the zoo, left it in the cup holder in this fucking 110-degree car while we walked through the whole zoo. Came back out, I grabbed it. It was hot to the touch. I was like, oh, man. And I sipped it. It was fucking like...
still cold.
It wasn't cold, but it wasn't piss warm. And I shit myself. I was like, there's no way, dude. These are sweet as shit. Like, I get it now. I get it. It's cool as hell. So we will have those available. If there's anything else you guys would like to see us
T-shirts,
do,
ladies' tank tops, tumblers.
Yeah. Might even get some booty shorts going just for the whole Busco gig. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
we get some booty shorts going.
And if we're going to do the booty shorts, I think what we got to do is put it on the back, right on the ass. Ask me about my podcast.
Ask me about my yes.
Ask me about my podcast. It'd be gorgeous.
Oh my god.
All right, we'll talk to Vicky about it. But guys, check her out, Lola and Company Designs. Also, please give my buddy Roland Lewis Designs on Facebook a follow. Badass dude. He will hook you up if you guys got any graphic design needs.
And also Mikhail Gorbachev for writing our new.
Yeah. Shout out to Mike, man. Mike Russell. He took the song I wrote for the intro, and he revamped it for us a little bit. Did it on his new $2,000 amp, and he threw some drums and bass in there for me. And hope you guys enjoy it on this new one.
He's going to be on our podcast too.
Yeah, we got to get Mike in here, man. He was going to originally be our cameraman, but
he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he just didn't have the balls. No, I think he was busy or something.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I understand.
Sorry.
He only gets, a day, 2
yeah.
days off a week sometimes. But yeah, so hey, thank you for listening, and please show us to your friends. We're trying
to get out there, man.
Yeah, we're trying to get out there. Like we want to do more. I would love to do more with this.
I would like to travel and go to festivals and meet people and try and get some interviews with some guys that you guys want to hear. If there's somebody you want to hear about, like, tell us, because if we get the opportunity, dude, I'm going for it. So
I want to try and drop acid with the Grateful Dead, so let's do that.
I'm trying to drop acid with Jerry Garcia, so just give me a second while I kill myself. I'll be right back. All right, guys. tune in to the next episode. On July 21st, I believe is the date. 2 weeks coming up from now, we're going to have Plinko on the fucking stage. Be here to talk to Trevor, Shane. Just down to do it, man. Excited.
I'm excited for that as well.
This will be our first big band. And yeah, check us out, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Keep it classy.
Yeah, keep it classy, San Diego.
All right, peace.
Peace.